Ukraine has taken one of its biggest steps yet towards becoming a member of the European Union. In a move being described as historic by leaders in both Kyiv and Brussels, the EU has officially opened its first accession negotiations cluster with Ukraine. While full membership is still years away, this marks the beginning of a crucial new chapter in Ukraine's European journey. So, what exactly does this mean? Simply put, Ukraine has entered the formal negotiation phase of the EU membership process. The first round of talks focuses on what is known as the Fundamentals Cluster. This is considered the most important part of any country's accession process because it deals with the core values and standards expected from every EU member state. The cluster covers areas such as the rule of law, judicial reforms, democratic institutions, public administration, financial oversight, and economic governance. In practical terms, Ukraine now needs to demonstrate that its courts operate independently, corruption is being tackled effectively, government institutions are transparent, and its laws and policies are aligned with European standards. The European Union has stressed that accession remains a merit-based process. There are no shortcuts. Ukraine will have to meet a series of benchmarks before it can move on to the next stages of negotiations. Officials in Brussels will continue monitoring the country's reforms, and progress in this first cluster will determine the pace of all future talks. But for Ukraine, this development means much more than administrative reforms. Kyiv sees it as a major geopolitical victory. Russia launched its full-scale invasion with the aim of preventing Ukraine from moving closer to the West and integrating with European institutions. Ukrainian leaders now argue that this latest milestone proves those efforts have failed. Ukrainian Foreign Minister Andriy Sybiha called the opening of negotiations proof that Russia could not derail Ukraine's European future. He also said Ukraine completed the screening process faster than any previous candidate country in the history of EU enlargement. European leaders have echoed that sentiment. Many view Ukraine's future membership not just as an act of solidarity, but as a strategic investment in Europe's security and stability. They argue that integrating Ukraine into the bloc would strengthen Europe politically, economically, and even militarily. The accession process itself is divided into 6 thematic clusters, covering everything from the internal market and competitiveness to agriculture, sustainability, and external relations. However, the fundamentals cluster is unique. It is opened first and closed last, making it the foundation upon which the entire membership process is built. Of course, significant challenges remain. Ukraine is still fighting a war with Russia, and implementing deep institutional reforms during an ongoing conflict is no easy task. Full membership could still take several years, depending on the pace of reforms and approval from all EU member states. But despite the war and the uncertainty, one message has emerged clearly from Brussels.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to Mirror Now.